Mia, Logic Byte. The chip formica of the diner booth felt cool under my elbows, a familiar comfort. I was Mia Byte, though most folks around here just called me Logic, a nickname earned young, fixing Mrs. Henderson's radio with a hairpin and a healthy dose of stubbornness. My life wasn't glamorous. It was network cables, blinking cursors, and the low hum of servers in the county IT department. But it was steady. What I truly wanted, though, wasn't fixing printers or resetting passwords. It was something more, something I only let myself dream about during late nights fueled by lukewarm coffee, to build a virtual world, a place of perfect order and boundless creativity, a refuge from the slow decay I saw creeping into everything around me. Then the call came. Old man Tiber, the eccentric recluse who practically lived inside his antique shop, needed help with his contraption. Said it was important. Said it was a dream made real. And suddenly, my steady life felt very, very small. Tiber's shop was a labyrinth of forgotten things, smelling of dust and beeswax. The contraption wasn't what I expected. It wasn't some futuristic machine, but a towering stack of vacuum tubes, copper wiring, and what looked suspiciously like a repurposed loom. He called it the Dream Weaver. He'd been building it for decades, he said, trying to capture and preserve dreams before they faded. My task wasn't to fix it, but to connect it to the internet, unbelievably. He believed the Dream Weaver needed a wider audience, a place to share its creations. Getting it online was a nightmare. The hardware was ancient, the software, non-existent. Every line of code I wrote felt like a negotiation with ghosts. There were setbacks, a fried capacitor here, a logic loop there. But with each hurdle overcome, the Weaver pulsed with a brighter, more insistent energy. I started experiencing vivid, fragmented dreams myself, landscapes that shifted and flowed, conversations with people I'd never met. Was it the Weaver? Or just sleep deprivation? Finally, it was live. The Dream Weaver blinked, whirred, and then opened. A portal, of sorts, appeared on my monitor, a swirling kaleidoscope of colors and shapes. People started logging in, drawn by whispers on obscure online forums. They weren't just seeing the Weaver's dreams, they were entering them, interacting with them, shaping them. It was a sensation, a phenomenon. The Weaver wasn't just preserving dreams, it was creating a shared reality, a collective unconscious. I felt a surge of triumph, a validation of everything I'd ever hoped for. I had built something truly extraordinary. I had given form to the intangible, a sanctuary from the encroaching grayness. But as more people joined, a strange dissonance began to creep in. The dreams, once beautiful and ethereal, started to become fractured, chaotic, tinged with a subtle but unsettling fear. The chaos wasn't a glitch, it was a consequence. The Weaver wasn't just sharing dreams, it was amplifying everything, the hopes, the fears, the anxieties of everyone connected to it. Negative emotions spread like wildfire, corrupting the dreamscape. The sanctuary I'd envisioned had become a breeding ground for nightmares. People began to withdraw, scared by the intensity of the shared experience. Tiber warned me. He said the Weaver needed a filter, a grounding force to balance the chaos. But the technology was too primitive, the code too complex. I tried everything, but I couldn't stem the tide. The dreamscape was collapsing in on itself, threatening to spill over into the real world. I realized my creation wasn't a refuge, but a mirror, reflecting back the darkness we all carry within us. And I, in my naive ambition, had unleashed it. I did the only thing I could. I severed the connection. I shut down the Weaver, cutting off the flow of dreams. The silence that followed was deafening. The dreamscape vanished, leaving behind only the cold, blinking lights of the server room. There were accusations, disappointment, even anger. But I knew I'd made the right choice. The weaver wasn't ready for the world, and perhaps the world wasn't ready for it. Tiber, surprisingly, wasn't upset. He said he'd always known it was a long shot, a foolish dream. But he also said I'd learned something valuable, that even the most beautiful dreams can be dangerous if they aren't grounded in reality. I went back to fixing printers and resetting passwords, but I wasn't the same. I still dreamed of creating, of building something extraordinary. But now, I knew it wasn't enough to simply dream. You had to understand the darkness too, the shadows that lurk beneath the surface. And sometimes, the greatest act of creation is knowing when to let go.